Welcome to Astrology. Today I'm going to share a story and some astrology, so stay with me. About 2 weeks ago, I was food shopping at my local ShopRite, and as I'm getting into the line, about to pay, something catches my eye, and I look to my left, and I see a whole case full of magazines, but one magazine in particular really drew me in. It was this magazine called Witches, and it had this woman. It seemed like she had like a crown, like a black crown, and she was holding like this bouquet of red lit up candles. And I felt so connected to that image that I just picked up the magazine, threw it into my cart, and bought it. And I rushed home to read it. Self-care time. As I'm reading about the history of witches, the Salem trials, and then I go deeper and learning about the trials potentially that were in New York and Long Island, New York, and then I go deeper and deeper. So I'm reaching a page, and this page is number 32, and on it says spell binding celebrities. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Let me learn about all of these different celebrities and their spiritual practices. Lana Del Rey. I have stories about Sybil Shepherd. I mean, there's even Giselle. This is one of the models from Victoria's Secret. Like, she is on here, and it goes on and on. And there was about 9 good celebrities on these 3 pages, and I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking about it, I'm diving deeper, I'm inspired, I'm feeling concerned about the commonality and the common thread in the astrology of each celebrity and what unites them. What is common in their charts that draws them to spirituality, to the information from a lens. So if you can just imagine me holding a camera and zooming in and zooming out, and here are some of the information that I found. One is the luminaries, the sun and the moon, either in Scorpio, having scorpionic energy or influence, also a Pisces sun. And I want to incorporate that was interesting to notice those different similarities in some of the charts. A focus on water and on an earth sign like Virgo. Now, you might be wondering, well, Virgo, how does that work? Well, if we think about Virgo, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And even if you're all confused right now, just stay with me. Let's think about the mythology behind Mercury. So in its more manifestation in a god form, it is considered a psychopomp. What is a psychopomp? So a psychopomp is a god that can go in between the living and the dead. And one reason for that is to deliver messages, to deliver healing, to bring in healing, to bring in information between the worlds. Found planets in the 8th house. So a good example would be Lana Del Rey. She has her sun, Mercury, and Mars all in Cancer in the 8th house. She transfers over her musical style. So I added this lens is a little bit more musical because in her music, she's really in depth. She's not singing from a place of superficiality. She's singing from a place of depthness, of even personal experiences, of complexities. And what's so enriching is that her music is beautiful. Her voice is godly. Her voice is, I feel, always rises to the heavens. And if you haven't listened to her music, I highly recommend. It might not be your vibe, but it could be a good learning experience. Another celebrity out of the really interesting was reality television personality Spencer Pratt. He has a very complex and practical signature in his chart. What I found interesting about him is that he sells high-end crystals. That's one of his businesses. And what that makes me understand is that he's very highly attuned to Earth, the mineral, the practicality of Earth, but also the physicality of Earth through this crystal. So the fact that he's able to share probably his knowledge about crystals, and I believe he has some Virgo. So he's over here sharing information, distributing information about and teaching us about crystals that is beneficial, maybe for the alignments of people, for the healing. So it's attuned, and it shows in the chart. Mine is actress Rachel True from the classical movie The Craft. If you haven't watched that movie, I highly recommend, especially now that we're in the spooky season. It is definitely available. So she has her Mars, her Pluto, and Uranus in the 8th house, with her Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Scorpio. So again, if you are following me, we are seeing a lot of water signatures. We're seeing a lot of 8th house placements. But another commonality and another thread here is Pisces placements or moon in Pisces. Also planets in the 4th and 12th houses. So with the 4th house, it's not just about family. We can also think about the 4th house as end of life. What is our ancestors teaching us? And we also have the 12th house, which is another house of the depth psychology. It speaks about this depthness of the subconscious, secrecy, the hidden. And a little bit about the 8th house, just to add it on. The 8th house, some of the real depthness and richness of that house is the occult, spirituality, healing, all this really deep, really spiritual information. And just to mention, these findings that I came across, that I experienced, and I was able to learn in these charts, are not indicative that people without any placements in the 4th, 8th, 12th houses or water houses or in the water signs doesn't influence and doesn't say that you're not as witchy. We are all witchy in one way or the other. It all depends on you, your personal preferences, how open you are, how much are you learning, where you are in this journey of life. We all have this medicine. We are all able to access it. It is up to us to bring into our conscious awareness. Con mucho, mucho sabor, Sabor Astrology. See you in the next one.